Hello, so there's gonna be a new Makoto Shinkai movie, and if you guys don't know who Makoto Shinkai is, then attack. So basically, a lot of people know, I think it's one of the most popular anime movies out there. It's called Your Name, Weathering with You, 5 centimeters per second, which was super popular during its time as well, and Garden of Words, as well as She and Her Cat. Very iconic director. A lot of people compare him to like Miyazaki, which I think they're both very different in their like own ways, and I'm not gonna get into it really deeply. He's just another really iconic anime director, and he is coming out with another movie this November 11th, 2022. It's called Suzume Locking Up the Doors, or Suzume no Tojimari. I hope I said that right, I don't know. Basically, the story is about a 17-year-old girl named Suzume, and she bumps into a traveling young man who is looking for a door. She follows the man up into the mountains where they find a worn, lone standing door amongst the ruins. Suzume opens the door, and it causes doors all over Japan to open and release chaos. It is Suzume's job to close the doors once again. There also was a teaser trailer that came out, which I kind of wanted to go through with y'all because it's only a minute, and I know it's only a teaser, but like I feel like there's like little things you can see in it that you can kind of like guess what it's about. I'll link the trailer down below. Obviously, all the clips in this like little teaser could be like out of order, so it's kind of hard to like kind of guess what's happening. And it starts off with Suzume biking down a like hill into her small town. She lives near the ocean, it looks like. This is where she encounters the traveler dude that is looking for the door, and then she's like all shook looking, and then she's like, "Brat." Kind of looks like someone pushed her maybe, but she looks so shook like all the time. She looks so like scared. Like I never seen any other like emotion from her in this trailer. And she finds a door. The door here looks like it's like kind of open, you know? We see like this cat, lemur looking Zubumafu. This is the town. And then this looks like maybe it could be her front door. The chair! This chair, I just genuinely don't know what it could be. Like what's its significance, because the chair is literally like in the poster. Chair is like seen in a lot of scenes. I just really don't know what the significance could be. I feel bad for her socks. Isn't that uncomfortable? And then here's a chair again. This area is not part of the disaster. It looks like this chair is coming from the sky. She's carrying the chair again. Chair. She's holding the key here too. Here she's running, key in hand, holding the door, stopping the door, or like helping him close the door. He is jamming this key into this magic keyhole, locking the door, and then it ends, stopping the disaster from happening. From this trailer, you can kind of pick up a few things. She looks like she's like someone who enjoys life, and it's just like, wow, I am the freaking main character of this coming of age movie in 2022. That's like her vibe. Super happy, life, looking at nature, going wee down this hill on her way to class. She meets this mysterious guy. She's like, oh my god, is this my future man? And then she's like, oh my god, he's a ghost. No, I'm joking. Because in the thing, it says like he's looking for a door, he's a traveler. Because she was slowing down to approach him. She lives in a small town. People in small towns, you kind of just like know everyone, you know? You don't really know, you have to know everyone, but like you know everyone's faces. This guy is probably like super weird looking. He looks like freaking Haku from Spirited Away. And she's like, yo, like, do you need anything? Do you need help? And he's probably like, I am looking for a magic door. A door that stands still. And she's just like, what the heck is this guy on? And then he's just walking by her, not even paying no mind. Maybe he said something really weird, and that's why she's like, ugh. This part is just so weird because it kind of looks like she's like laughing, but it looks like someone pushed her maybe. Maybe he's magic and maybe he like teleported through her on her way down, and that's why she looks so terrified in this. She's just like, bro, what the heck? And then it cuts to the door. We still don't really know how she got there. I'm assuming maybe he was like, don't follow me. Kind of weird. But she's like, I want to follow you because I'm the main character of this film. I'm going to risk it all. Logically, she's probably like, oh, this guy is really sus. Never seen him in my life. He's going back to where my house is, so like maybe I gotta do something about this, you know? So maybe she followed him, or maybe just genuinely out of pure curiosity about this store. She's just like, this is my area, so I'm not gonna get lost. I'm gonna follow this guy. It looks like this is the next part. She like enters the ruins or whatever, and then she finds the door here. And then she approaches the door, and then she sees that the door is kind of like open, and she's just like, what happened here? Like, there could be like two things that like potentially could have happened here. The guy could have already went through the door, or the guy hasn't reached the door yet, and she's there first. And it's his job to lock the door. That's what I think. It's his job to lock the door. So he could have went through, or he just hasn't gotten there yet, and she made it there first. And it's his job to like lock the door. It's interesting how like we see like locking elements in the trailer alone already. We see her here unlocking her bike lock. Again, this freaking chair, I genuinely don't know. This location could either be be at her place, or it could be one of the houses in the ruins. Although everything's messy, it doesn't look like it's like everything's rotting or whatever. It just looks really messy. So it could have been like the chair fell, you know, and made that mess, like how in that scene where the chair just falls. So this three-legged chair, I generally don't know what the significance could be. I have a lot of theories, but I'll get to that in a second. This looks like this area could be a part of the disaster. So this scene was what confused me a lot, because this chair didn't lose its leg from falling here. It looks like it's already gone. Either someone threw it off of the roof really hard, or it fell out of the sky. So obviously this movie isn't really like time traveling. It's more like, my guess is it's more like teleporting. The door aspect kind of reminds me of like Howl's Moving Castle. His front door, you can like travel to different places across the area using the switch. So it kind of reminds me of that. But this part, the way she carries this chair everywhere with her, on the poster she's holding the chair right in front of the door. Looking at how aggressive this chair is being freaking treated, it only has 3 legs, but it's like falling from the sky and causing destruction. It doesn't seem intentional that this is supposed to be hitting the laundry. The laundry is something you don't want to mess with, or else you're gonna have to do the laundry again because clothes are gonna get dirty. I don't think someone intentionally threw this chair at it. It probably like happened like falling out of the sky. This scene, for some reason, reminds me of The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, the movie by Mamoru Hosoda. She has this ability where she has to like jump and then she will time travel. So in my brain, maybe this chair is like also some kind of like trigger element that helps her teleport. That's what I think. See, she's carrying the chair, the key, and then she's like carrying the key, trying to stop it. What's interesting to me about this scene is here, the young man is injured, and then she comes here and helps him close the door. It looks like this is still the beginning of the scene. This doesn't look like kind of like the climax part of the movie. Especially here, she looks so shocked that this is happening, because with the whole like disaster part, like chaos is happening through the door. It looks like all of this is really sudden, like this chaos is happening. First thing is to stop it, right? Obviously, if the door is causing it, you're gonna want to close the door. And then this guy comes in and is like, I'm gonna lock this door. So it's just all happening really, really, really fast. And she's just like, what is this magic key doing here? But what I find the most interesting, other than my man's injured, this girl is like, oh my god, magic key, is that this doorknob is on the other side of the door. You see. So they're closing it on the right side. The doorknob is on the right side of the door. When in this scene, for example, the doorknob is on the left side. And then on this scene, it is on the right. So that could mean that they went through the door and are locking it from the other side of this door. Those are like the only things I kind of like really noticed. We don't really know if this guy is even a good guy or a bad guy. I kind of am gonna assume he's the good guy in this story, and she is there to help him because maybe she messed things up by going through the door and she wasn't supposed to. Those are like the things I've noticed. Comment down below your theories because I really want to know. So moving on, when this movie was announced, I saw on Twitter, Twitter, a lot of people were kind of arguing that like, oh, Shinkai is just like making the same movie all over again. Which honestly, I can see where they're coming from. To be honest, I'm not really mad about it because I do really enjoy Shinkai's films. They're just like so visually pretty. The story is like good enough for me to get entertained or whatever, but it would be nice to like see a different format. But there are a lot of similarities from his like last 2 films, which is Your Name and Weathering With You. And even from this trailer, you can already get like, Weathering With You and Your Name vibes from it just by looking at the trailer alone and reading the synopsis as well. Your Name and Weathering With You would be like some sort of disaster happening, like natural disaster. So Your Name was like a comet, and then with Weathering With You was flooding. And then in Suzume, it kind of looks like it's a post-disaster. Obviously her town isn't destroyed or whatever, but the town that they went to, it was like already destroyed. There are magical doors that cause disaster, so we already got the disaster part. Magical prophecy. In Your Name, Taki and Mitsuha were connected. They switched bodies to ultimately save the townspeople from the comet. In Weathering With You, Hina had the ability to make the sun come out and was the sacrifice for the rain to stop in Tokyo. Tokyo. And Suzume, not entirely sure yet what the magical aspect is, but she might have the ability to close the doors and cause destruction. Obviously, the doors itself is magic since it does cause destruction, and as you can see, the key that the guy uses was a magical key. Number 3, defying fate. In Your Name, Mitsuha and the townspeople were supposed to die, but Taki was able to warn her about the comet. After the incident, they were supposed to forget about each other, but when they met in Tokyo years later, they were able to remember each other's faces at least. So they defied that kind of like fate type thing because of their love for each other. And Weathering With You, Hina was supposed to be sacrificed in exchange of Tokyo being saved from flooding, but Hodoka chose Hina over Tokyo. Again, in Suzume, we're not even sure what defying fate point might be, but I have a feeling like someone's supposed to die and then they're gonna like save them. Something like that might happen again if we're following the same plot format. Yeah, and there's also like a romantic element with Your Name and Weathering With You. The journey follows a couple who ultimately test fates to remain together. And then in Suzume, again, we're not sure. There is a possibility there could be romance because, you know, the main character already bumps into like this guy, which already like sparks the plot. Another thing with these movies, with Shinkai movies, is that the movies are also like kind of connected or like are in the same universe with each other, if that makes sense. So starting with Garden of Words, the teacher, the main girl teacher, was found in Your Name as Mitsuha's teacher. In Weathering With You, Taki and Mitsuha were found as adults in Tokyo, and Mitsuha was at the store and Taki was at his grandparents' house. And my guess would be that Hodoka and Hina would be found behind one of the open doors that leads to Tokyo, or maybe Hodoka's hometown, because at the very end of the film, they were already living through a disaster themselves, right? So it would make sense if one of the doors led to one of those characters, because the doors creates chaos and creates a disaster, and in the film of Weathering With You, they were already living through. I kind of expect that happening, but I'll be really happy if it like happens, you know? I'll be like, yeah, I guess that shit. We don't know, just a guess. Both Your Name and Weathering With You do have very similar like plot formats. So like, as well as one of his like earlier works, which is called The Place Promised in Our Early Days, can also fall under this like plot format. The only difference out of all of them is obviously the characters and the story itself, but just the format of it is what makes it so similar and makes it like just seems like the same movie, if that makes sense. That's why people feel that way. It's kind of like the guy and the girl lives their lives, fate brings them to meet, they both help each other in their individual lives, and then they discover something really bad will happen to the girl or like one of the characters, and then they prevent the bad thing from happening, and then they live happily ever after. The end. Like, put it like in really like simple terms, that's basically the plot of both Your Name, Weathering With You, and The Place Promised in Our Early Days. Maybe he'll let this one be a tragedy. Which I love tragedies because it just my heart. Just by looking at the trailer, you can kind of see it possibly like following the same like plot points and stuff like that. So I don't know. I really don't know. Overall though, like although the plot points seem very similar, they are very unique on their own ways as well. I still enjoy the stories anyways, so it's not very much of a big deal to me, but I can see how people are like, you know, we want to see something different. We know like Shinkai can switch it up and like still do really well with it, you know? So I do still understand that. I agree that it would be really interesting if he did switch up the story a little bit with this one, especially now that like Radwimps might not be making the music for this one. There's a lot of like difference that can happen, you know? Whatever happens, I won't be mad. Still looking forward to it. I think the concept is really interesting too, like how doors can like lead you to a different place, and how when one door closes another one opens type beat, you know? It's kind of deep there. I always look forward to Shinkai's movies. They're always so beautiful, and I love like how he plays with like a lot of artistic elements. His scripts are very like poetic as well, and I like how he's touching a lot on like the environment, especially with like Weathering With You. I think Weathering With You was inspired by like global warming and stuff like that, but you know, it is what it is. I just think his films are really like brilliant at the end of the day, and I'm looking forward to this one, despite it like possibly being similar to the other films. But like, you know, I enjoyed the other films anyways, but it would still be very interesting if he did switch up the story a little bit, or like the plot format, because I definitely think he could succeed with something different, you know? If there's any more updates in the future, because obviously this was just like the teaser trailer and like a very short synopsis of the story. Soon we're probably gonna have a full trailer, and I'll definitely like react to it, make some theories on it. If there's any like other movies you guys want me to like talk about, I probably watch more anime films than I have like of like anime series. Anything else you want me to talk about? let me know. Or like let me know like any of your movie recs. I've watched like all the Ghibli ones, all the Makoto Shinkai ones. Satoshi Kon, Masaki Yuasa, all brilliant directors. Also Mario Kada films too. Yeah, I don't know, like if you guys have any other recommendations, definitely send them in the comments below. If you have any theories about how the story could be, any like plot theories, or like what your opinion is of Shinkai's other films, let me know in the comments below. Keep it simple though. Just be nice, y'all. Just be nice. But yeah, that's all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!